What's going on, baby?
Look at that, bro. What's up?
Is this the ice pack on the neck or what?
They're full house today, huh?
Yeah,
I can never snitch. That's on my kid. I put a chopper on a blade, put a blade on his hip. I keep my right hand spinning like my last name Smith.
Presentation 10 push-ups.
Got a plug from the P. Fresno. Damn, the cops got him caught.
And you know, there are shortcuts to sales. People say there are no shortcuts. There's a lot of shortcuts. I was 18 years old. I worked for a company called 2020 Communications. And a guy goes, the guy with the most energy makes the most money. Right? And I was like, damn, that's pretty good. I wouldn't have a lot of energy, right? It's an 18-year-old kid with like $200 in my bank account. But a boxer very rarely gets a one-punch knockout. He sets up that combination to get that knockout punch. And it's the same thing with sales, right? See, the thing is the families that we serve have a technique the same way I have a technique, and their tactic is to get rid of me. Their tactic is to find the excuse to tell me no. Well, guess what? My tactic is to find the excuse for them to say yes. Right? That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna find the hot buttons with my combinations where eventually I'm gonna hit something that's gonna strike home with them. What year is this thing?
2000.
Wow, this thing's pretty nice. And as remember last year, PG&E had those Dixie wildfires they took responsibility for. And in the past,
Man, I'm not really interested in solar.
because of these situations that keep happening.
No, not interested, man. I'm sorry.
Gotcha, just to help me, and I'm not trying to be pushy at all, but
Nope, not interested, man. I don't know how many times I'm gonna tell you this.
no.
Go on about your day.
I got you. Everyone's been super friendly out here. We never said yes. We never agreed to anything. I'll cut to the chase with you.
I have solar.
Great. You win the lottery, how much money did you have to pay out of pocket to get the system?
I didn't have to pay any of it.
It's money or you want money for me?
You're paying 38 cents every time that meter turns. I'm going to continue paying PG&E how it is now, or I'm going to take the control back and own it like you own the house.
I can walk away from the bills whenever I want, and with you guys, I'm locked in.
Why would you cancel your electricity to go to Yankee Candle? So if you could pay less to own something rather than paying more to rent something.
But you don't understand. I'm not gonna.
You're not a good fit. He's not a good fit. We gotta go. Let's go. Thank you. So pretty much I have him just finishing up the system design, like full breakdown of everything, you know, on the brass tacks of everything. You know, the first 18 months it'd be 149 fixed.
I want you to hit me up on Monday. Okay. Hit me up on Monday. Cool.
I'm Taylor. Sorry, I was caught up with another family. I told your wife, so sorry I'm a little late. This is Andrew. He's my engineer. He's got everything like kind of designed for us. Is it just like a small corner of a table I can kind of put my stuff down so I can kind of show you how this all works? Yeah. Makes it a little bit easier for me. Do you need me to take off? You know, I always start with like, you know, thanking you for the time that you're giving me. I always try to keep this somewhat exploratory. I'm a consumer myself, so when I put myself in this sort of situation, I don't want to deal with a long, drawn-out process. I want somebody to be able to keep it very simple for me, so I can just see apples to apples, the exact scenario from both situations. Keep 9637 kilowatts, what you used last year. You don't get any sort of added home value with the utility. You don't get any sort of tax incentive. And, you know, like I said, you're kind of at the mercy of the power company. They could tell you your rate's going up 30% tomorrow and people are just going to pay it. And that's how they pay for the 130-year-old infrastructure. People, it's kind of a corny analogy and it kind of requires a little bit of thought, but this is the major reason you would do it or you wouldn't do it. It's if I pulled a checkbook out of my pocket right now and I said, I'll buy your house, you can continue living here, you just need to write me a check every month and I become the landlord, would you do that? So if I was gonna buy the home from you, I'll say I'll write you a check right now. I want to become the owner. You and the family can continue living here. You just need to write me a check every month and I become the landlord. It's like me trying to convince you to go back to renting. You wouldn't do it. It's the same concept of me going up to somebody that has solar and saying, hey, let's rip the panels off. You start paying double for your electricity. You have to give your tax incentive back and we can raise your rate at any time. People wouldn't do that, right? Solar's been a system size?
7.505.
7.5, so every kilowatt, a Zillow appreciates the home value by $5,000. So that's about we'll just say $35,000 in appreciation, just what your home's worth, because it's a part of the home. It's the best home improvement you can do because we're taking away from money that you're already giving to the utility company. Now you're keeping it. So that's what it is. There is no more, there is no less. We just have to verify. What is the best phone number for you?
It's 559. Not
Not
big,
really?
not a big fan, but
Where are you,
I
from, where are you from originally?
Mexico.
Where? What part?
Right on the border, Baja, Mexicali.
Okay, I got a funny story for you. We'll be fine. And he's like, well, just so you guys know, they were shooting bullets and they were ricocheting off our building 2 nights ago. And I was like, well, if that's the case, we're just going to make a U-turn. And I ended up eating a hotel check.
Yeah. Now, but on this, this is the first quote that we get.
You can get as many quotes as you want. What I tell people is what we try to do is get you in line, because you have to work your way to the front of the line before we even get you approved. So like all we're really going to do today is figure out if we can even get you approved for what I showed you here. Because if it comes back as a red X, everything I told you we can't even do it. So it's like, the idea is up until the day of the installation, you can go get 10 quotes. Go get a bunch of quotes. Ownership aspect is always going to beat the option of power purchase agreement or a lease, because then the rate goes up and you don't ever own that system. They put a lien on the property. So the idea is, what we do today, unless you find a reason that this side is better, we would submit an application to the utility company to go for your approval. If we can get you approved at that point, keep in mind we use our company resources to start getting this going. So it's like, obviously you wouldn't be sitting with me if you had solar and we were trying to convince you to rip it off to go back to the utility company. But go get 10 proposals, because people care about, one, having the best pricing, the best service, and then the quality of the panels and the warranty. So like, you're gonna have, typically, how long is it until we have the utility approval before we get to the point where we can schedule an installation? 4 to 8 weeks. So 6 to 8 weeks. So you have 6 to 8 weeks to find out exactly what you want to do. But like, people care about the price, the quality, and service, and people don't want to sacrifice on any of that. They want to have the best of all three. So really, what we do today is put you in line. We can't bill you on something we don't install. We're not going to come in the middle of the night and like tiptoe up on a ladder and start putting panels on the roof. But the idea is like that if you like the way that this sounds, the idea is that that we put 1 foot forward today. You can continue to make sure that this is the best decision for the next 6 or 8 weeks. And Andrew's the one that will follow up on your project to communicate with you if the utility company, like we'll know right now if we can even approve you for this program, and then we're going to know in about 3 to 4 weeks if we can get you approved from the utility company. And at that time, when we tell you you're approved from the utility company, if you're like, dude, we're not doing this, then we're not going to go for the town permit, and we're just going to take you off the list. But the idea is, everything that I'm telling you is exactly the way that it is here. Sometimes people tend to make it a bigger decision than it is, because they end up doing nothing and then they miss out on the tax credits, or they have to wait 6 months before the system PTOs. But what Andrew would do is just basically manage the project to see if you can get approved. We use our company resources, so we want to know that you're like genuinely like, dude, I don't want to pay for the utility company anymore. This is kind of like a pebble in somebody's shoe. But the idea is that we even see if we can get you approved for the program today. So all we really do is just verify your date of birth. And then that's going to tell us if we can even do this part of the program. And then we would submit an application. I show you everything to be these exact numbers. There's no more, there's no less. Everything is time stamped. That's why we submit the applications, to figure out if we can get the approval. And that's what it is. Like I said, there's really no more, there's no less. This is what it is. And ultimately at this point, like, people are usually pretty excited because we pay for all the upfront costs. There's no like, oh, I forgot to tell you about the $1,000 labor fee, or the installation charge, or the town permitting, or the $350 engineering department fee. All those get waived. So that's it.
Yes, but the only thing is, if I will not get it until I know I'm getting. I'm paying more than what I'm paying right now on average. Some months are higher, some months are lower. So, but I don't want you to do the work and then I say, hey, you know what? I found something cheaper or whatever, you know, I want to go on this
So
side.
that's fine. You have 6 to 8 weeks before anything is even installed on the roof, right? So like I said, you go get as many proposals as you want. Go call every solar company. Go type it in. Like our marketing team, like it's like they'll continue to follow up with you, right? All these companies will contact you, and that's fine. Because I'm a consumer myself, and whenever I put myself in this sort of situation, I want to find somebody that understands it like the back of their hand. The first thing is basing it on the actual kilowatts that you use. So you had that 9600, we designed the system to 11,000.
Yeah.
So that's the first part of it is, because I can get you a system for $85, but that $85 system isn't going to produce the 11,400 kilowatts that we need.
Yeah, so I understand that too. It's just, you know, I know how to compare apple to apples too.
Good.
That's one of the things. I mean, I'm pretty sure I can get a cheaper system just producing just the 100% and not the 120 almost. So I can understand that it's going to be more. But if it's, you know, the same, and I'm not always going for the cheaper. Of course. Because not always the cheapest is the best. So, but I just want to compare too, and I don't want you to do the work and then say, hey, I think I found something that to me is better.
So what we do is we would start the application process for you. It's not, we literally turn them in on Fridays, so we would turn your application in with everybody else's. If the utility company approves you, great. If they deny you, that's where the process ends.
Okay.
You know, we see if we can even get this approved today for you, and then we're so confident that we're getting you the best system on value, price, quality, and service. If you can find a company that's going to do the same exact thing that we're going to do, we'll match them. We'll match them. You know, like, so go get as many as you want. You have a 6 to 8 week process. I just want to get the ball rolling for you today, and then over the next 6 to 8 weeks, let's say hypothetically, let's just say hypothetical situation. You're like, Taylor, you're like 3, 4 weeks, 5 weeks go by, 6 weeks go by, you know, you go get all the companies, and then, you know, you're like, okay, well, this is what I want, and then we show you this is what you're going to get, and then you're like, okay, let's do the installation on Friday. And then Friday morning, we come to do the installation, we roll the trucks out here, and the trucks are out front. And you wake up and you're like, dude, I don't know why I want to stay with the utility company, right? And I ask people this question: if the panels were installed right now, and PG&E rang the doorbell, try to convince you to rip them off and go back to paying rent, and that is just basically thrown away in the trash, you would never ever do that. So right up until the day of the install, we could be here in the morning, we come to knock on your door to go start installing panels, and you're like, dude, I don't want to do this. We can't bill you on something we don't install. Our company doesn't want us to tell you that because we use our company resources, but you want the confidence that, hey, this system that I'm putting on my roof is going to be there forever, basically.
Yeah.
You know, 40, 50 years. So people want to avoid making the wrong decision and make sure that everything I'm telling you is exactly how it is. My dad's always told me documentation beats conversation. So literally the idea would be, we put your reservation in, we put you at the back of the line. 8 weeks later, when you get to the front of the line, you have 2 months for him to prove to you that he's going to manage this project correctly for you, that he's going to communicate with you along the way. And if you find something that you feel like is better and he can't match it, then we just take you off the list. That's it. So the first step is just verifying that you're on the deed of the home, and we do that by your date of birth. What was the month, day, and year?
It's September.
I'm September 10th.
You're not 94, are you?
No, I wish. No.
So Andrew will tell us if we can do it. You know, if that says okay, then I'm going to show you exactly everything on this side that it matches up on the forms. We'd okay those forms. It will all be sent to your email. And like I said, like, I can tell you're like, you genuinely want to have the panels installed. You just want to make sure you're making the right decision on exactly everything. This isn't something where you're like, dude, I'm staying with PG&E.
No.
So we get the ball rolling for you. You take as many proposals as you want. You can go get 10 in the next 2 months, and then he's going to follow up with you, and you know, he's going to make sure that everything matches up. And if you can't do it, we're not charging you anything. There's no fee for the engineering report. There's none of that. And the fact is, if you were like, dude, Taylor, I'm never going to get the panels installed with you, then the process would end now, you know? So we give you that peace of mind to know that, you know, you can review everything, make sure it's exactly the way that you want it to be. But application, just to figure out if we can do it, that's the application. where we just kind of just press this next button right here, and then that's going to allow us to actually check the credit to see if we can do this. M&M's keep staring me in the face over there.
Want some?
I'll take some, man. I've been working all day. I keep looking at it. I hate to ask, but you know what I mean.
I'm glad you did. I just...
They keep staring at me. I was like, all right, I'm going to either ask or I'm going to sit here. I'll take a couple. I don't want too many, but they keep staring at me. I figured, you know.
Right here.
Can I get a high five? Yes. High five.
Like some water?
Low five.
I don't have cold waters, but...
Middle.
Sure, I'll say water.
212. Middle.
How many? We already would have paid the solar if we got it.
Yeah,
Great answer.
26.
Good answer.
27 this September.
Well, yeah, it's 26 too.
What's wrong with your system? It's going to be completely taken care of for the full 25 years. Your roof is warranted against leaks from the system's installation for 10 years by the provider. Okay, and your system performance does have a production guarantee. All those things that we talked about. Showed you a lot of projections on savings. Obviously, you know, we don't control the weather, so nobody doesn't control the weather or anything like that. So they have to include it here. They cannot
I would say if
guarantee.
the sun doesn't come up one day, we've got bigger problems.
Absolutely. Exactly. Questions?
Okay. Yeah. I'll leave my number too. Just, you know, you utilize me as a resource as well.
Okay.
And, you know, I've been doing this since 2014, so I'm going to put it right here for you too.
Probably the next 24 hours or so, just to do what's called a welcome call. We're going to go over the same key points that we went over on the agreement.
They're going to make sure Andrew didn't make you any promises to mow the lawn.
Exactly.
I thought that was included.
For a year, right?
Hey, Andrew said he's going to come for a year and mow the lawn, otherwise I'm not doing it.
Was that before I got here? Okay.
Did that mistake last night.
There's one more part of the agreement. Because I told you I would do this all over the United States.
Yeah.
I take a picture with every one of the families I help. So me and you have to take a picture. And he can be in it too. So, and I'm going to hold. Cool. So any questions?
Look forward to working with you.
Yes.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. He was telling me about this to the youngest. 2 Carlos. Bye, Erica.
See you, dude. High five. Bye. Yeah.
So he told me he wanted to get some quotes. I know you guys deal with that all the time, so he's never looked into solar before. But we created the decision, right? And you notice how I said, hey, your M&Ms are staring at me, and then the whole mode changed, and now you know that we're confident that that thing's going in.
Yes.
Now you've got to follow up, give him way more than he expects, do the little things.
Yep.
You know, do the little things to ensure that. We worked hard to get the deal, now we have to work hard to get that installed, and that's what we do, right? We're not order takers, we're stone cold trappers making plays. How many kilowatts was that?
7.5.
7.5 killies.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we just got to LA. It's another late night. It's 11:40 at night. We got another day tomorrow. We got our 3rd day down in LA, so we gotta rip another deal.
Yeah, let me speak my piece. I was always taught to go and get it, have to chase my dream. I can't give a broke bitch a chance, no, that's just not me. Little niggas hitting up my bitch, bro, that's not your speed. You got some ass, you got a bag, you got a chance with me. Hit the club just to make a mess, they clean up after me. Mad this nigga wife, my favorite bitch, bro, give her back to me.